But I will say though, like at least right now, I am in a time of peace, and I know when I'm in times of peace, when I'm just like bored. Like I don't know what it is. Like for some reason, chaos keeps me more entertained, but it's that chaos that drains me. Like it's like a give and take. And with peace, it's like yeah, I'm at peace, but the cost of that is I'm gonna be bored 25/8. But I'd rather be bored 25/8 than having something lurking over my shoulder having me worried but entertained at the same time. You gotta move, Hummer. But you know, it's good to be bored because when you're bored, like you're essentially being forced to find other ways to entertain yourself. Find now, granted, some people do choose unhealthy ways to entertain themselves. Like some people sleep with random people. Some people just smoke, not even just at the fact that they need to smoke, but they just smoke just to smoke, just because they're bored and they ain't got nothing else to do. Some people drink, some people fight, some people start arguments, some people play the game. You know what I'm saying? Some people, and then there's some people that do healthy habits. Some people work out. Some people read their Bible. Some people talk to God. Some people, you know what I'm saying, cook, whatever the case may be, to alleviate that boredom. Like everybody has a choice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to get bored at a certain point in time. That just is what it is. It's just what you do with that boredom. You know what I'm saying? You have a choice. You either choose to be chaotic with your ways of entertaining yourself, or you could entertain yourself in healthy ways. It's really like I won't say it's no in between, but there's no in between. That's I guess that kind of falls back on how we grew up because sometimes a certain person's normal, like their normal everyday life is chaos. Like 90% of their youth was chaos. So when they get bored and when they're at a state of peace, like they really don't know what to do because it's something different from them, different for them. I'm sorry, and they haven't experienced enough of that peace long enough for them to really like pivot and adjust peacefully without what I'm saying, going completely insane. So what do? They turn to things that could cause chaos. They turn to their vices, whether it's vices or just stirring up some chaos out of the sake of stirring up chaos so that you won't be bored and going insane. People do that. People are in those situations. They do a lot of very risky stuff to to essentially bring themselves peace, but it's really just to like get back to a sense of normalcy that is really the only sense of normalcy that they know. And then you have the flip side of that, which is the people who somewhat had a peaceful childhood, and I say like peaceful childhood with a grain of salt because I'm sure all of us, no matter who you are, excuse me, let me get some water. But all of us, no matter who you are, has faced some form of adversity growing up in your adolescence. Hold on. Let me. Sorry, but all of us have faced some sort of adversity in our adolescence, but it's some that did face more than others, and some people, in a sense, did have like pretty peaceful and structured childhoods, and those people, since that's what they know as a sense of normalcy, they would should try their hardest in their state of peace to do things that are healthy to alleviate that boredom. But it's it's tricky and it doesn't go that way because everybody has curiosity. Everybody is curious. And when you have curiosity, you tend to try to do things that are outside of your norm. So let's say you was a goody two shoes growing up, whether that's by force or by, saying, design. Well, I guess that's kind of the same, but whether it's like by your choice or by, saying force, when you're exposed to those different things and you're bored and you're at peace, you're like, okay, well, I see this person, they're at peace, saying, drinking and smoking and having sex with X, Y, and Z, and, starting arguments and starting fights and X, whatever the case may be, committing crimes, whatever, where, being the person that hasn't done that, you looking at it like, okay, where's the peace in that? And I'm curious. I want to find out, like, what is it about this that brings you peace, brings you happiness, brings you that adrenaline rush, brings you that dopamine. And so that's where you have people that do that were good people and are good people that just do bad things that they know they ain't supposed to do, but they just do it just out of curiosity, and that happens. And it could be the other way around, where you could have a person that is not used to, saying, healthy peace, and they see somebody meditating or reading the Bible or just doing something that's like not in their norm, and like they think like, okay, like how is this peaceful to you? Like how does this give you a dopamine hit? How does this give you an adrenaline rush? Like how how is this like your not vice, but how is this your vice? And they dibble a dabble in it, and then it's find a new sense of peace, and they change their life. Life is beautiful, man. You just never know what you're gonna get, and everybody's path is different. But I don't know what started this conversation, but I'm just been talking about peace and how different people, saying, handle their peace. I think it's because like it was something my friend said to me over the phone, because she said she was bored and she was doing something. She was telling me, like, I know that like probably sounds bad, X, Y, and Z, but I mean, shoot. Who am I? Just because I wouldn't do that because I'm bored, like, who am I to judge you for doing that? Because maybe that's all you know how to do to alleviate your boredom. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps you entertained. That's what your sense of normalcy is. That's what maybe your quote unquote peace is. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm just here to yap, yap, and yap